in order for us to update the customer, we need a few things. So we need the ID of the customer, the updated request. Then when we get customer, we need to make sure that we get the customer back. And in here, we're going to test first that we can update all fields, and then we'll change the test around. So let's start. So within our test, so given, so here let's just say int, and let's just grab, if I scroll up, we have, so this is me being lazy. So I think, yeah, so here we have this entire thing. So can get customer. So this gives us the customer in here. So when the DAO is invoked, it gives us the customer. So if I go back to the test, so here let's just paste this. Now in here we are covered. So when select customer by ID, we have a customer. Then, so here let's just say under test. So when under test, and then update customer. So when we pass the customer ID and the request, so new customer update request, and let's say that we change Alex to Alex and then Andrew, and let's just take this to its own variable. So here Alexandro, and let's say that the email is alexandro@gmail.com, or let's just add amigos.com, and then age, and let's just say that age is 23, for example. Cool. So now that we have the update request, we can pass it in here. So let's just say update request, if we have a variable first, of course. And I'm going to say update request. So here, let's just pass the update request. Cool. Now, the other thing that we have to do is to make sure that this email is not taken. So if you look here inside of the service class, so here, so we know that there's going to be a change, there's going to be a change, there's going to be a change, but we need to know that the email that we are about to add is not taken, because if it's taken, then an exception will be thrown. So we're going to mock this. So the way to mock it is by saying, so in here, when, and then the DAO dot, and then exists customer with email, and the email is this one right here. So let me just extract this to a variable. I'm going to say new email, and so we pass the new email here. We're going to say that this is, and then false, meaning that the email is available to use. In that case, we can verify that we pass the customer. So here we pass the customer in here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to capture it. So let's just go back to the test, and we're going to say then, and then verify that the mock dot, and then I think it was insert customer. Was it insert customer? No, it was update customer. Update customer, and it should be like this. I always get this wrong, so just like that. And we need to capture the customer. So here argument and then capture, and this will be customer. So the type of it, so let's just verify, yes, it's customer, and then customer, and then argument capture equals to, and argument capture dot for class, and then customer dot, and then class, and we say customer argument capture dot and then capture. Now that we've captured the value, we can get it out. So customer argument capture dot and then get value. And then I'm going to say captured and then customer. And now we can perform the assertion. So let's say assert that and then captured customer dot and then get age dot is equal to, and this will be the request, update request dot and then age. And we have to do the same for everything actually, because we updated everything. So let's just do name first, and then is equal to name. Let's do email here and email. And to be honest, this should be it. Let's try and run this and make sure that it works. Hooray! You can see that this is good stuff. So let's also update the method name to can update all customer or customers properties. So this is a much better name. So now that we have this test in here, and in fact, if I run this with coverage, so right click, or in the class actually, so let's just right click and no, so I think it's clicking here. Yeah, so let's click on this run button and then run with coverage. There we go. And I'm going to replace active suites. So let's just go back to our service, and you can see that we still have few things to test, right? So we have to test the fact that the customer email is taken, and also when there are no changes, right? And also we have to test basically when we only update the name, only the age, as well as email. So let's first, so in here, let's test the fact that we can only update just the name. And you'll see that this is literally just copy and pasting, and then paste that in. Can update, and then only customer and then name. And I think on this instance here, I think, so new email, what are we doing with new email? Okay, yeah, so new email is passed in here. So that's fine. So can update only customer name. So let's just remove that. So there we go. And here what we're going to do is we're going to have the customer, and the update request will be just the name. So this will be null, and this also will be null. Cool. So everything will be as is. And for age, so age will be different, right? So age will be the actual customer and then age. So customer dot and then get age, because this will not change. If we pass updated request dot get age, this will be null. So this will also be email. So let's just say get and then email. And then here, this will be customer dot get email. Just like that. And let's run this. And this fails. And it fails because clean and maintainable test code requires 0 unnecessary code. So it looks like we have unnecessary stubbing. So let's just see. And I think it says also, so run the line, so 195. So here, when customer DAO exists, customer with email. So this actually, so it's unnecessary because we never reach this point. So therefore we don't have to stub it. So let's just go back, and we can get rid of this in here. And this new email. So I think that's what it's complaining about. So let's just try and run it again. Hooray, you can see that this does work. Now let's basically just change this to email. So let's just take this and then basically update only the email, customer, and then email. Now at this point, we could just grab that same line, which was this right here. So new email. That's what we want to update. So scroll down and I think it's this. Yes. So new email, and the request for name will be null and age will also be null. And we need this just to make sure that the email is not taken. And the assertion will be, so here, this will be updated request. Oh, actually, sorry, this will be new email, right? New and then email. There we go. And this will be customer. So customer get and then name. Let's run it. There we go. This works. Let's do for age. So here, so age will be the same as this one here. We can only update the name. So let's do age in here. There we go. Say customer and then age. So name will be null and age will be 2. So it could be any number really. So let's just say 22 instead of 19. So it's updating from 19 to 22. And this in here, so get age will be equal to the basically request dot and then age, and then the name hasn't changed, so it'll be the same as the initial customer. So get and then age. There we go. Oh, actually, what am I doing? So this should be get name. My bad. There we go. So let's just run it. And there we go. Next, what we have to test is when we are trying to update an email that is already present. So let's just grab the happy path in here. So let's just take all of this, can update all properties. And what we're going to do is, it doesn't really matter whether it's all properties or not, or in fact, we could just reuse the last. So this one here, let's just reuse this. Can update only customer email. So let's just take this and at the very bottom, and you can see that here I'm just copying and pasting code, right? So will and then throw when trying to update customer email when already taken. And let's just get rid of all of that. That's looking good. So update. So update like that. And what we're going to do is, so this is basically us saying that the new email, so this will return true. Therefore, when this method is invoked, this will throw an exception. So assert that and then thrown by a lambda, we pass that in, dot is instance of, and I think, yeah, duplicate exception or duplicate resource, dot and then class, dot has message, email already taken. There we go. And so, and at this point, we never update customer. So let's just take that. And we don't need to have captures anymore. So we just get rid of that, this as well, and we say that in here, we just say any, and this is never. Whoops, never. Cool. Let's test this out. It works. And finally, what we have to test is when there are no changes. So let's get the happy path as always. So can update all customers properties. There we go. And here, let's just go at the bottom and paste that in. So we'll throw when customer update has no and then changes. So the changes are when the email is the same. So here I'm going to say customer dot and then get email. Here customer dot get name and customer dot get age, just like that. So then we don't have to mock this in here, because otherwise we'll get that exception of unnecessary stubbing. And when this is invoked, this will throw an exception. So assert that, or actually assert thrown by, and we paste that in. And the exception type is request validation exception. So let's just say instance of that dot has message, and the message is no data changes found, just like that. There we go. Then we get rid of this as well, and here we say any, and this is never. Cool. Let's try and run this test. Hooray, this works, and I think we done it. So this video, maybe it's quite long, but I said that this test was the most difficult one, but hopefully you managed to get through it. So let's just run all tests with coverage. You can see that we have quite a lot of tests, and if we look into the class now, so customer service, have a look, we've got greens all round, which means that we fully tested this method update customer and pretty much everything within this class. And if I open a project, you can see that you've got customer service, 100% methods, and lines covered. Cool. So in this instance, we've managed to test all of this, but sometimes it's not feasible. And to be honest, we are done with the service layer. If you have any questions on testing the service layer, drop me a message. And also, as I said, if you are interested in mocks, revisit the software testing course. This is all for now. Catch me on the next one.